All right, we've got a lot to cover on the radio today. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. A lot of things going on with the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, and many others, and we're going to cover all that. I just want to mention, I'm going to throw this out. I'm not going to have a long discussion about this. I do not believe this Elon Musk Neuralink story, okay? I think it is total fake news. I'm not blaming the news other than, well, maybe I should because they should do some investigation. You know, I remember there was a similar story to this Neuralink thing many years ago. Remember those Raelians? Is that what they were called? The Raelians who had cloned a baby? Remember that? They were all over the news. They had press conferences. That never happened. And I am of the opinion that if this Neuralink story were true, again, I could be proven wrong in 5 minutes. It's okay, whatever, you know, I can handle it. But to me, it seems that if this Neuralink story were true, we would see the person on television with Elon Musk doing something. And who's going to get chips implanted in their brain? I was just talking to Mike, our board op. People won't even buy the smart glasses, right? I got a new pair of Ray-Bans recently, and they had the ones with the cameras. Even buy those. So you're telling me people aren't buying like the smart glasses, but they'll get chips implanted. Now, I don't believe the story. Anyway, you guys can let me know what you think. No prolonged discussion on that. Now, yesterday morning, I told you that the Total War World War III infomercial would begin throughout the entire week on the fake news. It started on Sunday, and they are hardcore in. Nikki Haley, the former governess of South Carolina, you know, this thing about Nikki Haley, I refer to her on occasion to the governess of, she was twice elected governess of South Carolina. And yesterday, I got a message on one of my YouTube comments from some guy that says, a lady governor is a governor, a governess is a British nanny or something, you know, Mary Poppins. It's called a joke. And, you know, I don't know how many of you have run into this. Gen Z and millennials have no sense of humor and do not get sarcasm. I see this with my own daughter, honestly, from time to time, and have for many years. I've talked about this, and her friends, but others, okay? And yes, I understand that's, you know, when I refer to her, just to give you a little behind the scenes, when I refer to Nikki Haley as twice elected governess of South Carolina or the former governess of South Carolina, that's called sarcasm, very dry humor, and it's also just a slight tinge of ridicule. All right, and it's just amazing to me what happened to Generation Z, where they have no sense of humor. I don't understand. Maybe Elon Musk can invent an implanted chip for humor genes. But anyway, back to this infomercial. So the infomercial for Total War against Iran is gaining steam. Nikki Haley, I want to play the audio in just a bit. Nikki Haley's calling for total war. And all the fake news, cable news networks, including Fox News, are doing the same. And I am monitoring the fake news, the cable news, which I really don't watch unless there's breaking news because I want to see if my prediction was correct. I turn on Fox News early this morning as I'm about to leave my house. They have some retired military guy, and he says President Biden won't stand up. Why are the oil fields of Iran not burning right now? That's what he said. Why are the oil fields of Iran not burning right now? That was a guy on Fox early this morning. I think, what? Are these people out of their minds? I told you the total solution to Iran yesterday. Iraq, Iran, what difference does it make, right? Hillary Clinton. I told you the solution to this. Drill, baby, drill. Announce the Keystone Pipelines back. Drill in Anwar. Increase oil production to 100% in America. Enforce the sanctions that are not being enforced against Iran. You bring down the price of oil, and oh yeah, stop sending plane loans of money that Obama set up to Iran. They'll go broke. They won't be able to afford any of it. They'll be on their knees like they were when Trump was in his first term. That's the solution. And they're all calling for total war. And the war infomercial continues. I am against any military reprisals against Iran for this attack. And then I heard this other idiot say that the drone, this terrorist drone, this is the guy that once was asking the question of why the oil fields of Iraq are not burning, or I keep saying Iraq now. The oil fields of Iran are not burning. I'm listening to this guy. Don't you guys read? That's what Iraq did in Kuwait. I remember seeing the IMAX movie. The Fires of Kuwait was about that. And Kuwait, when Iraq was forced out of Kuwait in the 1991 Gulf War from Bush War I, and they lit all the oil wells on fire, the smoke went around the entire planet. And what good did that do? So this idiot that they had on Fox News, well, I guess this is what, I couldn't believe it. He says, why are the oil fields of Iran not burning right now? Oh, boy. The guy played a little bit too much Army with his friends as a kid. He's still playing it today. But then he said that this terrorist drone that killed our service personnel, that our defense systems mistakenly identified it as a U.S. drone, and that's why it was successful. Now, listen, I'm not an expert on drones. I'm not a military expert. I served in the military. Yeah, I did. For the exact same amount of time as Barack Obama and Bill Clinton combined. Okay, that's my military expertise. But the thing about this, so this idiot who says, why are the oil wells of Iran not burning? Then he says that our defense systems mistakenly identified this terrorist drone from Iran as a U.S. drone. Now, with my vast military experience here, doesn't that sound like classified information to you? Do you really think that Iran and Russia and China and North Korea and whoever else need to know, the cartels, do you really think they need to know that our defense systems are flawed and that they cannot distinguish U.S. drones from whatever type of drone the Iranians sent? That sounds like top secret classified information. And it went right out on Fox News. I heard it. And, this isn't the first time, all those Wounded Warrior commercials. Oh, my goodness. I hate those commercials. They're just awful what George W. Bush and Dick Cheney did. I hope Liz Cheney's proud of her dad, right? Watch Wounded Warrior commercials, Liz Cheney, that paid for your lifestyle, those guys, that lost everything. But sometimes they tell their stories, and oftentimes they were wounded, and sometimes the only one that survived in a Humvee attack. And remember the IEDs and the fake news media that are waging war now, attempting to, against Iran. In the early days of the war in Iraq, these idiots went on national television and said that our Humvees are armored on the sides and the top and the front and the back, but there's no armor underneath. So the Iraqi insurgency started the IEDs and blowing them up from underneath. And that's why you see a lot of these guys in these Wounded Warrior commercials. Or their widows and children in the Tunnels to Towers commercials and all that. So the fake news media have a history of putting classified information out there that gets Americans killed, wounded, maimed, and all kinds of things. And the programming that I'm hearing in the news is reckless, and it's just irresponsible broadcasting what I'm hearing. And this is just one instance I gave you because I just heard that early this morning. So we'll take our first break of the morning. It's Tuesday morning, January 30th, 2024. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action.
All right.
Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KNY.
Okay, I'll get to Joy Reid next. Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. Welcome, everyone. Just doing a sound check. That's right. And everyone, of course, please, if you're already subbed, like the video. That helps a lot. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, the last couple days I haven't been doing as many videos or podcasts because my daughter's been in town. This is my daughter's last night. And, you know, my daughter did not come home for Thanksgiving or Christmas this year for the first time. So, you know, we're spending a lot of time doing stuff with my daughter. But she goes home tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be back on my normal schedule. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, I'm going to get to Joy Reid after the break. I mean, she's really been exposed here, and I'll explain what I mean by that. I never say anything, even to you guys off the air, that I wouldn't say on the air. Now, you know, I may say some profanity. If you ever hear me use profanity during a break, which I do on rare occasions, I turn down the mic, I double and quadruple check the mic, and make sure that there's no audio going into it. But I don't talk about anything when there's a microphone around that I would not be able to say on the air. I mean, I may say some things in a different way or talk about things that I wouldn't talk about on the air because they're not as interesting or something or person. But, you know, every mic, you always got to assume it is hot. You know, I assume every mic is hot at all times. And sometimes you'll hear somebody will come in the studio during the break sometimes. And the owner of the radio station came in one day last week. And anytime anybody comes in that's not here every day, I'll say, look, even though it's a break, I say, hey, I'm mic'd up, you know. I got a hot mic. You know. Well, in television, it's different. The mics are always on in television. They're never off. They're always recording. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. You know, these military experts on Fox, most of them are with a military-industrial complex company. Sometimes I'll Google them. I saw one guy on there about a year ago, never seen him before, so I Googled him. He was talking about the need for Biden to have military action take place somewhere. And this guy, he was a retired brigadier general, and he worked for a company that makes transmission parts for the military. You know what I mean? There's just, you can't trust any of these guys. Now, Fox News banned Mike Lindell and MyPillow advertising last month, and I'm wondering if they did. Well, they hate the guy, you know, because they hate Trump and they hate MyPillow. I don't know who's against a perfect night's sleep. I don't know, but you know, the thing about them, I'm wondering, is part of the reason that they banned MyPillow commercials on Fox is so they have more room for their military industrial complex advertisements that they're doing that are disguised as interviews. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. Mike Lindell has offered you and this audience free shipping on all items, not just due to the Fox News cancellation, but for your continued loyalty to Mike Lindell and MyPillow with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You know, my daughter last night, she's in town visiting from California, and last night she stayed at her grandmother's house. And her grandmother just lives down the street from us, not too far. And she came over last night. This was so funny, it's so crazy. She came over last night late as I was falling asleep after she'd already gone over there to get a MyPillow to take over to Grandma's house because Grandma didn't have an extra MyPillow for her. She came over. She actually got the MyPillow 2.0 with the temperature regulating technology. But free shipping on all items at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, plus whatever special is being offered on that item. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. 4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, so Joy Reid, who's just a real twisted person, who's guilty of, I'm not sure if what Joy Reid is doing is cultural misappropriation, cultural appropriation, or is she just doing cosplay? But have you seen her hair? First, she's got blonde hair. She wears a blonde wig, which I think is certainly cultural appropriation of Caucasians. But the wig, her hair, it looks like President Trump's hair. She's wearing a Trump wig. Have you noticed that? But anyway, Joy Reid is part of, like Fox News, is part of the cable news World War III with Iran infomercial. And MSNBC and Joy Reid are promoting war, war, war. These people are twisted. And she got caught telling the truth in a hot mic moment. I'm going to play it for you. Hold on, my throat's dry. It's the weather. Let me play the clip, and I'll take a drink during the clip. This is Joy Reid, hot mic last night.
Over the weekend, President Biden said he's going to take action if Congress is serious about solving the border issue.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly. And Congress needs to get it done.
Stop. Over the weekend, President Biden said he's ready to take action if Congress is serious about solving the border issue.
Okay, now I put the bleep in. I got to take another drink here of my coffee. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's the cold weather. It's like 53 degrees this morning. And it's dried out my throat. Okay. I'm sure Kamala Harris probably knows how to help with throat issues. But, you know, the thing about this clip with Joy Reid, which I'll play again so I can properly talk about it. Joy Reid, hot mic moment.
Over the weekend, President Biden said he's ready to take action if Congress is serious about solving the border issue.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly. And Congress needs to get it done.
Okay. So she said, starting another effing war. Now, I added the bleep in, but that went out. Okay? That's a hot mic moment. That went out over the air. And that was a very rare moment on Joy Reid's show, The Reid Out, with her blonde hair and all this stuff going on. She told the audience, mistakenly on a hot mic, what she really thought. Another effing war. I said effing, right? I didn't have to dump myself. You listening, Mike? Keep an eye. You never know. Got to make sure you're awake back there. So then she goes, but here's the thing. When she knows the mic is on, she's part of the World War III infomercial. Biden boldly stands up to defend. Biden wisely stands up and takes action again. When she knows the mic is on, she's pro-war, but when she thinks the mic is off, she hates Biden, and she's against the war. This woman stands for nothing. I wonder how many others are this way in the fake news media, right? Are really against this war. You know, but this is two things from Joy Reid where she's busted. Once, she's against the war, off air, right? That's a hot mic. But on the air, she's for the war with Iran, World War III, and she hates Biden. You can tell. She's angry at Biden. She's disgusted by Biden and hates Biden off the air. Now, this thing about the hot mic, you know, a rule of thumb for me, anytime I'm at the radio station, I assume there's mics everywhere. There's 4 mics in this room I'm standing in. There's mics in almost every room in a radio station. I assume that all the mics are hot and on the air at all times. That way you never have a problem. Okay? I don't say anything off the air during the breaks that I would not say on the air. Now, occasionally, off the air, I'm talking to the chat room on YouTube, and I might talk about something I may not talk about on the air because it's, you know, something that's really not interesting for the air. I might use some mild profanity on occasions. If I'm going to do something like where I use some mild profanity during the break, I pot the mic down and I check it at least 3 times to make sure it's off. And even that's a little risky. Even though I got the pot down and everything else, I always assume every mic is on. Joy Reid, wow, I'm glad she's stupid and doesn't take those actions, because we got to hear what she really thinks about war with Iran and Joe Biden. She hates him. Now, I wonder why she hates him. Does Joy Reid hate Joe Biden for the same reason she doesn't like Donald Trump? They're white? Or is she really opposed to military action? I don't know. She probably doesn't know. We'll never know. But she's saying on the air something completely different than she said off the air. And that is going viral on Twitter, X. And it couldn't happen to a nicer woman. Now, after the bottom of the hour break, we've got so much to cover. We're going to get through this. There's another warmonger out there. The former governess of South Carolina, Nikki Haley. Wait till you hear this. She's a real sick, twisted person. We've got so much to cover. Our number is toll-free, by the way, wherever you're listening. It is 888-465-2631. 888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, let's see here. All right. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Okay. Well, I don't say anything that's a position on something on the air that's different than what I say off the air, like her. I mean, that is that's pretty bad.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
All right. Just queuing up some things for the next segment. Okay. Well, I'll play the Nikki Haley clip next. We've got so much to cover. I mean, this World War III infomercial, it's really sick. It's really sick. It really, truly is twisted. It really is.
Brian Craig here. If you're a homeowner, business owner, or the homeowners association,
Now, somebody had just mentioned something about the drone. I'm going to throw that out when we get back. Somebody in the chat just made a very good point about the drone. But I'll if you missed it, I'm going to share it when we get back. My throat is really dry. I usually drink like a 1 liter bottle of water on the way in, and I did not today. I left my water by the front door, the table at the front door. But this, having a dry throat while you're broadcasting this early into the show is not good. I'm starting to say Twitter X because I can't say X, and I like to say Twitter, so I'm saying Twitter X. Now let me ask you guys. I mentioned this at the top. I'm not going to do a discussion on this. Do you believe this Neuralink story with Elon Musk, that they've implanted a chip that can control like computers and things? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think it's a total BS story. You believe it. It's you believe, Chris Collins, that there's a working chip in someone's brain that has control over computers. All right. First off, who would do such a thing? You know, technology is dated practically when you buy it, right? So who would implant something in their brain that's going to be outdated so quickly? Some of our callers have chips in the ankle bracelets that they're required to wear, but yeah. All right, we'll be back in 26 seconds. But starting tomorrow, I'll be back on my regular podcasting schedule and everything. This is my daughter's last day here, and all right.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You know, this thing about we'll get to Nikki and the war, and one of our listeners in my YouTube live chat brought up something very interesting about this terrorist strike. I'm going to bring up in just a moment. But you know, this thing about this Neuralink chip of Elon Musk, I just don't buy it. Now, it could be just because I'm getting older. You know, I remember when TiVo was new. Do you guys remember TiVo? Now it's, you know, remember the TiVo? It was the first DVRs. We didn't even know what DVRs were then. And in TiVo, I remember when I got TiVo, and you could pause live television. When I paused live television for the first time, when I had my TiVo, am I the only one that had TiVo? There's got to be other people that had TiVo. But I remember when I hooked it up to the TV and I paused live television for the first time and rewound live television for the first time. You know, my grandparents are all long gone by that time, and I told my wife, I said, if my grandparents saw this, they would think it was witchcraft. Okay, pausing and rewinding live television. But the thing about the Neuralink chip implanted in someone's brain that can control things on a computer, I don't buy it for a number of reasons. And the reason is many, but one of the reasons is this. First of all, what computer equipment, what electronic equipment have you bought that's not out of date almost as soon as you buy it? Right? Like I have this new wireless mic that I use on YouTube for my live streaming, and this mic was not inexpensive. Okay, it's an expensive mic, It's from DJI. They just came out with a brand new updated version of it already since I've gotten this one, right? You know, this one's a little cheaper because of it. I got a deal on it. I mean, how many of you buy an iPhone and then next year they got the new one and then you're like, oh man, you know? So who's going to get some technology put in their head that's going to be out of date before they get the stitches out? Just seems kind of strange. And I'll tell you, this country is a Christian country, founded on Christian Judeo principles. And the predominant religion, thankfully so, of the United States is Christianity. You know, and you know, the one good thing I could say about the illegals is most of them are Christians. They're Catholics, you know. But so this is a majority Christian country. If people are getting chips in their brain that can control like their TVs and computers and such, how long is it going to be before we start hearing about the mark of the beast? Government control. People have such distrust of government. You know, like I have never gotten one of those DNA tests that everybody gets. You know, like that one LeVar Burton got, and he found out that he's part white, and he's like freaking out, destroyed his whole life. You know, and the reason I've never gotten a DNA test is because the reason, I guess about 3 or 4 years ago, they were selling them so cheap and getting celebrity endorsements, that was a deep state government front, okay? The government wanted to compile a DNA database of everyone on the planet, and that's why they've done that. So with as much government distrust as going on, who's going to get a Neuralink chip in their brain? So I just don't buy it. That's just me. But anyway, let's get back to what we do know. And what we do know is that the Washington establishment and the fake news media are pushing us into the Third World War. Now, I had mentioned, I heard this idiot military expert on Fox, I was talking about at the top of the show. He said two things. He says, why are Iran's oil fields not all on fire right now? That's brilliant. You know, with the United States not producing oil now and in the future at the rate we should be because of the senile old coot Joe Biden, if you lit up the oil wells of Iran right now, you know what that would do to this economy in the world? It could very well have a very devastating effect on the global economy because oil makes the world go round. But then I'd mentioned he said this. He said that our defenses at that military base misidentified the terrorist drone as a U.S. drone, and that is why the attack was successful. And I said at the top when I talked about this of the show just 30 minutes ago, I said, you know, that sounds like classified information that our defense systems can't detect can't tell our drones from enemy drones. And then during the break at the bottom of the hour, one of our very wise watchers on YouTube that was in my YouTube chat said something, and I think they hit it right on the button. And this is the question they asked, and I'm asking it of you. This drone that attacked and killed our service personnel over the weekend, since this guy on Fox blurted out that our defense systems couldn't tell it was an enemy drone, what are the chances that this drone was a U.S. drone that Joe Biden left behind in Afghanistan? I would say about 95% chance. What do you think the odds are that that drone, that our people were killed by a U.S. drone that Joe Biden left behind? What do you think the chances of that are? I think they're pretty good. And I think a 95% chance is pretty accurate. Why else would our defense systems not be able to tell it was not one of our drones? Because it was one of our drones. So if that's the case, what's Joe Biden done here? You know, President Trump was talking about presidential immunity. If presidents do not have immunity, which is what they're claiming against Donald Trump, okay? Now, this is a serious question. President Trump is being prosecuted for all these things he did not do. He is a 100% innocent man, just like in the Billy Joel song. But the thing about this, he was talking about presidential immunity. The mainstream media says he whines about presidential immunity. President shouldn't be immune. If this drone that killed 3 U.S. service personnel and wounded about 3 dozen others, if that is a U.S. drone that Biden left behind in Afghanistan that's being used against us, is Joe Biden guilty of manslaughter? That's a serious question I'm asking you. This is not rhetorical. If President Trump is being prosecuted, presidents don't have immunity, should he be prosecuted for manslaughter if that drone is a U.S. drone? And if you remember Benghazi, okay, Benghazi, remember Benghazi? You know, Benghazi, remember the U.S. ambassador to Libya was killed at the ambassador's station in Benghazi, Libya. Well, everyone knows that the capital of Libya is not Benghazi. It's Tripoli, right? The Marine Corps hymn, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. So why was the U.S. ambassador to Libya in Benghazi and not in the Libyan capital of Tripoli? Well, here's the big secret about that. And we talked about this at the time of the Benghazi incident, and this is why there's been a mass cover-up. Chris Stevens, Obama's ambassador to Libya, was in Benghazi because Obama had armed all of these Libyan rebels during the Muslim Spring era. And he was there trying to get the U.S. weapons back. And Chris Stevens and the others that were killed in Benghazi were killed with U.S. weapons. That's right. They were killed with U.S. weapons that Obama gave them. So there's no statute of limitations on murder. I don't know about manslaughter. I don't know. But if Trump is not immune from things he didn't do, should Obama be prosecuted for the death of Chris Stevens since he gave the weapons that were used to kill Chris Stevens with in Benghazi? Like Biden, if this was a U.S. drone that he left behind in Afghanistan and the Taliban sold it to Russia, who gave it to Iran, or they gave it to their friends in Iran, who knows? Is Joe Biden guilty of manslaughter in this if that's a U.S. drone that he left behind in Afghanistan? That's a serious question I'm asking. These are not rhetorical questions. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour. There's so much to cover. We haven't even gotten to Nikki Haley yet. I thought I would have gotten to her half an hour ago. But there's so much happening. But to the listener in the YouTube chat that mentioned, was this a U.S. drone that they used against us? Thanks for bringing that up, because that had not occurred to me until I saw you say that in the chat. All right, our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. 888-GO-KANE-1. I'm Brian. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. I think those are good questions, guys. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. All right. Let me see here. I mean, either presidents are immune from these things or they're not. Yeah, I did. I saw that question about the drone. Who said it? I did not catch who made the comment, though. So who suggested that might be a U.S. drone? I did not see who made the comment. Yeah, Kenya apparently is a very small town located in Hawaii. Slick Pickle. Slick Pickle. Very good point, Slick Pickle. Thank you, D and others, for letting me know. Slick Pickle. Good question. Thank you very much. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I am starving. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got it. Slick Pickle, thank you. All newspapers and magazines and newspapers do is just copy and paste and plagiarize each other. It's a big game of telephone. They don't ask questions. They don't investigate. They get their press releases from the deep state and then broadcast them. Mm-hmm. Garland's having surgery. Is it transition surgery? What's going on?
Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, our cruise is coming up April 27th, and I think it's next week. I'm Ian, our travel agent from Cruise and Travel Depot, and I were taking a tour of the ship that we're cruising on, the Celebrity Beyond. And the reason we do that, you know, it's April 27th we're leaving. We take a tour. We have an executive from the cruise line, and they walk us through the ship, and we check out all the areas that we're going to have our events at for the week and make sure everything's where we want to have our events located at. We don't want to find out when we get on the ship. It's one of those things we do every time. But I found out, I was talking to Ian yesterday, and there are a couple of suites left for our cruise. The regular rooms, you know, they're all sold out. But if you're interested in a suite, there are a couple of suites available. So you can call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. His number, 561-244-5779. Yeah, it's not, when we take the tour of the ship, you know, we got an executive. They take us to all the places that we're having our events. And sometimes we'll say, I don't like this location. We got to find a new one. But it's a lot of fun. They wine and dine us. They liquor us up. They feed us. They get with you know, fine dining there. That's a lot of exciting. I love taking these tours. But to give Ian a call if you're interested in a suite, 561-244-5779. We leave April 27th on the Celebrity Beyond to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. 561-244-5779. All right, so, yeah, the war infomercial continues in the mainstream media. So this is Nikki Haley. She, of course, you know, she wants total war, and her husband's deployed. You know, the one she cheats on? You know, the husband she cheats on's deployed. You would think, of all people, the wife of a deployed U.S. serviceman would not want the war to happen, right? But not Nikki. She wants the war to expand. She wants her husband in World War III. I guess if he's off in World War III, it's easier, you know, for her to do what she does when he's deployed. I don't know. But anyway, Nikki Haley gave an interview yesterday on, is this News Nation? It might be News Nation. All right, I think it's News Nation, but I'm not 100%. But it doesn't matter. It's Nikki Haley. She's talking about Iran. Oh, hold on.
Didn't do something. What was that something that he should have been doing?
The very first strike that hit, you punch and you punch back hard. What they should be doing is going after every ounce of production of those missiles. Wherever those missiles are, you take that out.
Well, Nikki Haley, if they're U.S. missiles and drones, what are you suggesting, Nikki Haley? If Iran is using weapons that Biden left in Afghanistan, that means they're made here. But you notice what she's talking about? She is talking about bombing Iran. She's not sophisticated enough to get this, that these might be U.S. weapons. She's talking about bombing Iran, and she's all excited. Almost as excited as she is when she's behind restaurants and parking lots having sex with men she's not married to.
Very first strike that hit, you punch and you punch back hard. What they should be doing is going after every ounce of production of those missiles. Wherever those missiles are, you take that out. You keep doing. You take out the training sites. You go and you.
But does that risk escalating a war?
Does that mean striking Iran directly?
It means striking the resources that are allowing them to hurt our troops. That's what you're doing. It's not going after the.
They're backed by Iran. Iran says that they're not declaring the shots, but Iran's training them. They're providing intelligence. They're providing weapons.
And this goes
There
back.
would be no Hamas without Iran, Hezbollah without Iran, or Houthis without Iran.
But
yes, you're
striking
going.
Iran is a really big escalation. And
You go after wherever those missiles are, the production, wherever it is in Iraq and Syria, you take that out. Wherever it is in Lebanon that they're doing that, you take that out. You go after the leaders making the decisions. It's not after Iran, the country. It's after the people who are making these decisions. When Soleimani was assassinated, it sent a chill up their spine. It took their breath out. You have to be strategic. It's not starting war. It's actually preventing war.
It's preventing a war. She wants to bomb Jordan, Syria, and Iraq. And then she said, you go after their leadership. Now, in the Second World War, when we dropped the A-bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, why did we drop them on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and not Tokyo? I mean, everybody that went to, I mean, you learned this in 8th grade. I mean, this is, but Nikki Haley, she doesn't know the cause of the Civil War, so she maybe, so why did we drop the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and not Tokyo? Well, it's pretty simple. If you take out the leadership, who do you negotiate with? If you take out the leadership, you've got chaos and anarchy. If you take out the leadership, you still have military forces out there that are controlled by radical generals. Remember the deck of cards in Iraq? So Nikki Haley wants to do, she wants to strike 3 countries and take out their government leadership. Oh, that's wonderful. How'd that work out in Iraq? Didn't work out very well, Nikki Haley, but it would keep your husband away from home, which she seems to go wild when her husband's deployed, at least according to those depositions, when those guys gave sworn testimony, okay, about what she was doing when her husband was deployed. Of course, they don't ask her that question. She is a twisted woman. And this thing she says at the end is insane. Now, she goes on this long rant about attacking 3 countries, taking out their leadership, and then at the end she says,
making these decisions. When Soleimani was assassinated, it sent a chill up their spine. It took their breath out. You have to be strategic. It's not starting war. It's actually preventing war.
How is it preventing a war if you are attacking Jordan, Syria, and Iran? And she said their leadership. So we're going to strike Tehran? Is that what we're going to do? So you kill the Ayatollahs, who are, radical religious leaders. How's the Muslim world going to react when you take out radical religious leaders of Islam? What's the reaction going to be? Nikki Haley has a lot of problems, but her only problem is not that she's in bed with these military-industrial complex donors. She's a poser. She's trying to act like a man. She's got a lot of insecurities about being a woman, trying to be the first president. See, this is the problem. When you have the first female president, we want it to be like a confident woman, like Carrie Lake, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not a woman like this, who's got to show everyone that I'm as tough as a man, we're going to bomb, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and if my husband's deployed, well, that's all the better, because then I can go wild. But she's too, like Hillary Clinton, she's too busy trying to act like tough as a man. And like sometimes I'll get these seminar callers that are fake MAGA. I had a guy the other day, and I tell you when they're fake MAGA. I don't want to give away all my secrets, but one of them is just an obvious one. The problem with fake conservative callers that I've had the whole time I've been doing this, throughout my career, is that they're not real conservatives. So when they call in with the stereotype of what they think a conservative is. Hey there, I'm calling from Kentucky. You know, all that kind of stuff. You know, with the fake accent. They call in pretending to be a conservative, but they're not. They have this negative stereotype. And Nikki Haley is trying to sound like a tough man running for president. And you know what she sounds like? A hysterical, warmongering, insecure woman who, by the way, according to the depositions, cheats on her husband while he's deployed. According to the depositions and allegedly according to the Daily Mail reporting from a couple weeks ago, okay? You know, when I was in favor of U.S. involvement in Iraq under George Bush. Most conservatives were. I still had trust in our government. I did not realize what, you know, there was another thing too, is there was a major war fever after 9/11 in this country, you know, and most of us that were conservatives were, and then I realized it was a lie. Like yesterday, I got some calls on the show yesterday telling me how many months away is Iran away from the bomb, 3 months, 5 months, however long it is, you know. For 15 years, I've been hearing Iran is however far away from having the bomb. Okay? What, you know, the people that keep telling us that Iran is whatever date they put on it, however many weeks or months or years, okay, whatever number they put on it, Iran is this far away from having the bomb, they're like the global warming alarmist, okay? All the predictions that they made were beyond those dates, and none of them have come true. You know, AOC said we had 11 years left or something, 12 years left. Well, that was like 6 years ago now, 4 years ago. Okay? So she doesn't talk about that anymore. She ups the date. Now, I want to tell you guys about William Youngerman, our gold and precious metals dealer. You know, no matter where you're located in America or the world, you can do your business over the phone with William Youngerman. That's right. And through the mail. Everything is secure, everything is confidential, and you'll pay less for the metals than you will anywhere else, especially these places that you see online and on television. And don't fall for this gold IRA and all that stuff, or they hold your gold and silver at these other locations. You want to take possession of your metals, okay? That's half the point, maybe even more than half the point, is to have the gold, the silver, the platinum in your possession. That may be in a safe in your floor. It may be in a safe deposit box. I don't know. But you want it in your possession where you can get to it. All right? And William Youngerman, again, even if you're local and you can't make it into his shop in Boca, you can do all of your transactions, both buying and selling, over the phone and through the mail. He opens up at 10 a.m. You can find William Youngerman online at williamyoungerman.com. williamyoungerman.com, or call toll-free 1-800-327-5010. You know, Al Knight, he tells me, you don't have to say the one anymore, Brian. I know, it's just habit. But the toll-free number, 1-800-327-5010. That's 1-800-327-5010 for William Youngerman. Stop paying too much for your gold, your silver, your platinum, or anything that you buy from gold dealers. Call William Youngerman. Again, online, williamyoungerman.com. He opens up at 10 a.m. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. We'll be back. There's a whole bunch more to cover. I have just scratched the surface. Vivek Ramaswamy made an interesting prediction I'm going to get to. We'll be back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK.
All right, let's see. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. When you guys like the video, that helps spread the word about the channel.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
It was personal that he wanted to make money.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Check out the big game party February 11th in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with a delicious $30 all-you-can-eat buffet, great drink specials. Also, big prizes including tickets to your favorite team's regular season game next season and all the super action on over 140 HD TVs. The Paddock is your perfect spot.
All right.
OTB and sports action. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com. Brian Grigg here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for one of those big labs. That's why I go to Any Lab Test Now in Boca and Any Lab Test Now in Cool Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on
My iPad made me update it. So, oh yeah, I gotta play this clip. I gotta find this clip I want to play. There's a clip. There it is.
We're about to get to help shore up women's rights.
Make sure that's the
Do
right
you
one.
know what that might be? What that might look like?
Yes,
or-
Rachel. Yes, I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, this E. Jean Carroll thing. She just, see, mistaken for a U.S. drone. Okay? They just said in the news, mistaken for a U.S. drone. Now it's mainstream. Mistaken for a U.S. drone. Okay, we will be back in 25 seconds. Unbelievable. Here we go.
Walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. 5 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, I'm coughing and my throat's all messed up, and it's very cold outside today. And my first thought was, well, you know, it's like one of the coldest days we had in a while. And then I realized I'm wearing a sweater today. I've probably worn this sweater in about a year. It's been in my little sweater shelf in my closet. I think it's just got dust on it. I think that's what's going on. I'm inhaling dust. That's what's going on. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I heard them say at the top of the hour that the drone that killed the 3 U.S. service personnel, was what I saw on the last hour, the drone that attacked and killed U.S. service personnel was mistaken as a U.S. drone. If you're just tuning in, we were asking this question, and when I say we, because someone in our YouTube live chat first brought this up to me, and this had not occurred to me. Here's the question. Was the drone mistaken for a U.S. drone because it was a U.S. drone. The drone that attacked our base killed 3 American servicemen, well, I guess women, service personnel. Out of respect, I'm not going to, we'll be PC. Was it a U.S. drone that Biden left behind in Afghanistan? That's the question we're asking this morning. What do you think? What are the odds of that? Now, this lunatic, E. Jean Carroll, who has a striking resemblance to Marla Maples, everyone's playing this clip in the news of her on Rachel Maddow's show last night. And I think they're all missing the point. So I'll set it up for a moment. I'll play it uninterrupted, then I'll tell you what came out to me. So E. Jean Carroll is sitting down at a desk. She's got 2 lady lawyers, her 2 lady lawyers, one on her right, one on her left, and she's talking to Rachel Maddow about her settlement money.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours.
Okay. So she's going to buy her one lady lawyer a motorcycle and her other lady lawyer a fishing pole. What kind of woman wants a motorcycle and a fishing pole? Now, whenever you're shopping for women, okay, do you know what is the perfect gift if you're going to buy something expensive for a woman? Any woman. It can be your wife, your girlfriend, your daughter, your mother, your grandmother. If you're shopping for a woman, the best gift is a purse, a nice purse, right? You came into this lottery which she's never going to get 10 cents from President Trump. But if you come into the lottery winnings of 87 million with the other one, or however much it is, you buy women purses. Shoes, too, if you want to go shoe shopping. But with the purse, you don't have to worry about the shoe size. Can't go wrong. That's what women want, girly things, unless they're gay. She has 2 lesbian lawyers, and she's talking to Rachel Maddow, who's a lesbian. Her one lesbian lawyer wants a fishing pole. Have you ever heard of a woman that wants a fishing pole? And her other lady lawyer wants a new motorcycle. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's what I took away from it. You guys can let me know. All right, so that's that. This is just... And she's a complete lunatic. E. Jean Carroll, she gave an interview on, let me see if I have this one. This was CNN. This is before the fishing pole and motorcycle interview. What do you want, Rachel Maddow? A new zoot suit? What do you want, Rachel? All right, so this is E. Jean Carroll on CNN yesterday.
What was it like to be with Donald Trump in that courtroom? He did not attend your first trial, but he was there when it came down to the money and what it would cost him. You hadn't seen him since 1996.
I hadn't seen him since he assaulted me in the dressing room.
She could notice how she could hardly even say it? She's like mumbling this part.
Well, but he was there when it came down to the money and what it would cost him. You hadn't seen him since 1996.
I hadn't seen him since he assaulted me in the dressing room.
I couldn't even hear out that one part. She said something in the dressing room. You mean to tell me that one of the most famous men in the city of New York walked into the ladies' dressing room and there's no witnesses that saw that? But anyway.
I hadn't seen him since he assaulted me.
Does it sound like she said an old man? What is she saying here in this mumbled part? Haven't seen him since, there's a mumble, sounds like maybe old man, and then I heard in the dressing room.
I hadn't seen him since he assaulted me in the dressing room. And preparing to see him was terrifying. The days leading up, as Robbie brought me around stronger and stronger,
It was so, I hadn't slept, I hadn't eaten, I couldn't think, I lost my language when she was trying to prepare me to go to do testimony in front of Donald Trump.
Well, now this is interesting. Why does her, I don't know if it was the lawyer that wants the motorcycle or the fishing pole, one of the lawyers, what do they have to prepare her for? She's telling her story of being sexually assaulted in her, from the Law and Order. I mean, this happened to her. No one knows what happened more than her if it's true. Why does she have to be prepared when she's telling her truth? Have you ever given testimony? I have. I've given depositions and things. One time there were I can tell this story now because the one of the people is passed away, but Norm Kent, who was a gay radio host, he wasn't very comfortable being gay, and there was a very effeminate gay guy in studio with him, and he knew Norm Kent wasn't comfortable being gay, and he kept calling Norm Kent Missy. This was on the air, and Steve and I were there. They were on the air on the radio station, and Steve and I, we were in the control room watching this, and he says, "Stop calling me Missy," and he kept calling him Missy, and the guy that was calling him Missy is like really an effeminate gay guy, as it gets. And Norm Kent was getting really upset, and he says, "If you call me Missy again, I'm going to clock you." And he says, "What are you going to do, Missy?" And he got up and just slapped him across the face. Norm Kent slapped this guy across the face live on the air, and the guy called the police. And before he even got through to the 911 operator, the police were already at the station because some deputies were actually listening to the show and came in, stopped in. They saw something happen. And Steve and I had to give depositions, okay, and describe what happened. We just told what happened. We didn't have to be prepared because we were giving witness statements. So there's nothing more traumatic that can happen to a living person other than to be raped. Why would her lawyer that wants a new fishing pole have to prepare her, E. Jean Carroll, right? If she's telling her truth, she should just know it, right? And I've given depositions and other things too. No one ever prepared me. I took an oath, and I was questioned. That's it. No one prepared me. Because I was there, I knew what had happened.
Preparing to see him was terrifying. The days leading up, as Robbie brought me around stronger and stronger, it was so... I hadn't slept, I hadn't eaten, I couldn't think, I lost my language when she was trying to prepare me to go to do testimony in front of Donald Trump. And then when we were in the courtroom and Robbie went to the lectern, she said, "Good morning, Eugene. Please state your name and spell it for the jury, for the court." And there he was. And he was nothing. He would just no power. He was zero. I was flabbergasted. And from there we just sailed through.
Okay, now, this thing that he was nothing, he was a zero, he was powerful. So, E. Jean Carroll said that she wants to help Biden get reelected. So what she's talking about here is this is part of the same effort of Nikki Haley's to try to bring Trump down. And if you've ever been in the room with President Trump, in the room, I have. Believe me, if you're in the room with Donald Trump, he's not a zero. Okay. First off, he commands any room that he's in because it's not just him, and he's very famous and a celebrity and all, but he's got an entourage of not just staff, but United States Secret Service. So her whole description of Donald Trump there with Secret Service and his staff, and he's a big guy, and I'll tell you, President Trump's voice in person is deeper than what you hear on TV at the rally. He's got a deeper voice in person. At least that's what my thoughts are. And he's big. He's a big guy, and he's got huge teeth, perfect teeth at that. But I mean, her whole recollection in the courtroom just doesn't even make sense.
And she said, "Say your name." And I just looked at Robbie, saw he was nothing, and it came up from there.
Did you make eye contact with him?
Many times.
And what was that like?
He's an emperor without clothes. It's like looking at nothing. It was like nothing.
Were you surprised by that? Because the environment, no, I can imagine, but the environment, not just from what you went through, but also the environment in that courtroom was a very different, very volatile, very heated environment in terms of both Donald Trump's attorney and Donald Trump. For it to end up like that, were you surprised?
Yes, I had been prepared for the worst force, on the earth today, the most powerful, the most effective, the most money, the richest, the most, and there he is, he's nothing. Why? It's just the people around him who give him the power. It's the emperor without clothes. It's Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale.
Oh yeah, like her testimony, a fairy tale. I mean, this woman is insane. I hope she does a lot of interviews because she's crazed. And when you see her on television, she's crazed. And she loves to talk. And when a crazed liar talks, they expose themselves, right? Because they talk too much about their lies and such. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our first break of the second hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. This Kia statewide sales event will be held at the Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Start this new year in a new City Kia. Last year, over 5,000 customers made the switch and joined the City Kia family, and you can too. Save up to $8,000.
Oh, I'll tell you about that deposition. I couldn't say this part on. I was going to say this, then I said, no, I better not say this on the air because of the language. So these two gay guys, they're Norm Kent. He got up and he slapped the guy across the face live on the air. So when I gave my deposition, there was a state attorney. I was at the state attorney's office. There was a court reporter. There was the state's attorney. And I had to give a deposition. I had to swear and do all that. They asked me to describe the slap. Like they said, how did he hit him? They said, was it with an open hand? I said, or a closed fist? I said, no, it was open like this. They said, how would you describe the type of slap across the face? And I said, he bitch slapped him. They said, what do you mean bitch slap? And I said, well, the one guy's very effeminate gay guy. The other guy, he's like butch, and he just bitch slapped him. And the court reporter started cracking up when I said the bitch slap thing. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh. That is true, Cynthia. The dress had not yet been designed. Yeah, let her keep talking. Do lots of interviews, E. Jean Carroll, you freaking lunatic.
You can make 2024 the year of more ocean views and quality time with your cruise with Margaritaville at Sea's new buy one, get three promotion. Now, for a limited time, you can bring up to 3 guests for free when you buy just 1 guest fare. Bring your friends, family, or kids along for free on fun-soaked getaways to the Bahamas, aboard the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, or adventure together with your best mates in Mexico and Key West this summer aboard the all-new Islander. Don't miss out on a sale like no other. Go to MargaritaVillageSea.com and book today.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires.
I'm reading this thing about the Neuralink. This is, to me, complete BS. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it's just me.
Thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All right, call us on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I want to talk about my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton, and his laser wave pain treatment. You know, yesterday I was talking about how he rid me of my arthritis pain, and you know, I just had arthritis in my index finger, and the pain was just, I was like on the verge of tears. The pain was so bad, and now, no, I'm pain free after just 2 treatments with the laser wave pain treatment. But it works on much more than arthritis. The laser wave pain treatment works on so many different kinds of pain. The list I go through here is not even a complete list. It's not even close, but I'll go through arthritis, bursitis, work injuries, sports injuries, repetitive motion injuries, strains and sprains, post-surgical swelling, knee pain, he rid me of that, tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, plantar fasciitis, which I've been told is incredibly painful, rotary tears, herniated discs, acute pain, chronic pain, and many, many more. Go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays, and say bye-bye to your pain, all right? Here's his number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE1 is our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Sandra from Boca.
Hey, Sandra, what's up?
I listened to what you just played. Oh, my goodness. First of all, the word was assaulted, by the way. You know, you were trying to figure out that word.
Say that again?
The word was assaulted.
Oh, assaulted. She was mumbling the word.
Yeah, assaulted. That was the word. So she says, and she mumbled it, like she wanted to pass over it, like. But the thing about it is that thing about what are you going to do with the money? Most people, and this is just my humble opinion, that are victimized, the first thing that they say to somebody, it's not about the money. This was not about the money. Instead, you see what she said, we're going to go shopping, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that.
It's like she just won the lotto.
Yeah. It was most people that have been victimized that go through this kind of processes, if they are interviewed, they always say it's not about the money.
Well, let me tell you, I've been assaulted more than once by listeners of this program over the years. I've talked about a couple of times. There was one time I went home and there was a very large listener waiting in the bushes of my house, and they almost killed me. I was pretty drunk, okay, at the time, but they were. If I was completely sober, they were like 3 times my size, and they jumped me, beat the tar out of me, and took me by my hair, and slammed my head into the blacktop of the street in front of my house several times. I was only saved because this is before I was married. My date and a friend of mine that I went to high school with was my roommate, saved my life. And let me tell you, it's not a sexual assault, but it's a severe physical assault, and it's very traumatic. It didn't help that the paramedics and police were listeners and knew me. You know, it was a little, and the doctor in the ER that treated me was a listener too. It was, oh man, it was, should have brought my autograph book. It was insane. Made it worse, quite frankly. But I had to deal with that person after that, and when you are, this was a physical, not sexual assault, but it was pretty severe and much worse than I just described, okay? When you have to deal with someone who's assaulted you, even when it's not in person, you're not celebrating and going on shopping sprees. It's traumatic, it's frightening, and the person called me after this on the phone, and I had to encounter them too. I won't get into too much detail because they're still alive, okay? But you're not acting like this, and if you're sexually assaulted, I'm obviously much worse.
Out there.
I appreciate. No, her behavior is this lottery winner thing is not. It's not consistent with a victim.
I can't really think of specific ones, but I know in my travels throughout my years that when people say, "Hey, you got this money, what are you going to do with it?" It's not about the money.
Well, and another thing with her, when she's as she does interviews, and I hope she does 1,000,001, you start to run out of things to say when you've made up a story, and she'll start embellishing more, and there'll be other things we've never heard before added to the story to try to keep it. And I remember I saw an interview once with a girl that survived the Holocaust, and her family were Jews, and they moved in, and they passed themselves off as Aryans. And her parents said, "Don't talk about our family. Don't talk about the past, because when you're telling lies, you'll forget the lies." And so that's going to happen to E. Jean Carroll. Do 1,000,001 interviews, E. Jean Carroll, please.
Yes, right.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mask lady in Boca.
Hey.
I wanted to say you were very nasty to me yesterday.
I don't even remember the call, quite frankly. I know we talked, but I don't remember the details of it.
Yeah, well, what I was trying to say about the store and the dressing room is that there is always a matron in a women's dressing room.
Uh-huh.
So what I was trying to get across, if there's a matron there, how could anybody get assaulted in a dressing room?
Exactly.
That's when you got mad and said the mask was fogging my brain.
I do remember saying that, but it wasn't because of that. I think there was something else said by one of us. I just really don't remember. I'm sorry.
You were bringing up witnesses, but I'm saying if there's always...
Oh, we were talking. Okay, one of the things, two things, okay, about what you said yesterday, and we're late for the break, but I'll go over this since you feel slighted from yesterday. That's okay. I get it. Couple things here. E. Jean Carroll, part one, would not give a year. She couldn't remember what year. It was over a 3 to 5 year period. So that's a lot of people. Second, Donald Trump's team were not permitted to call up lawyers by this scummy, corrupt judge. Okay? And President Trump very well may have had these dressing room matrons that you're talking about on the witness list, but they weren't allowed to call witnesses by the corrupt judge. So these are some of the things, and they may be holding on to them now for some type of appeal process.
No, but what I was saying, if there's someone there taking your ticket, Carmen, how could anybody get assaulted if there's always someone in attendance?
Yeah.
Why would you need a witness if the store has a matron there in attendance?
She gave different years and different interviews.
How could anyone get assaulted?
Okay. All right. I got it all 3 times. I don't want you to feel slighted. Do you feel slighted today? No? Okay. She doesn't feel slighted today. All right. We'll take our break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
E. Jean Carroll has said different years and different interviews and at different times. So, no. Yeah. I don't know which one. Was he the mentor to the woman that wanted the motorcycle or the fishing pole?
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies Traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
95 northbound after Atlantic Avenue, a multi-vehicle crash now pushed over to the right shoulder. In Wesley, we have a multi-vehicle crash on Seminole Pratt Whitney Wood is north of Town Center Parkway. I-95 southbound approaching Boynton Beach Boulevard, an incident off to the right shoulder. The rest of the service routes are incident free, but some more volume on Boynton Beach Boulevard east and westbound approaching Military Trail. This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. New year, new hiring needs. Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit. That's traffic. Respond.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Showtime in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with an exciting lineup of comedians like Harlan Williams with 2 shows, February 2nd and 3rd, Joe DeVito, Adam Carolla, and Pauly Shore. And check out fabulous dinner shows with Portrait of Aretha February 9th and Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis Valentine's Day event February 14th. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Brian Craig here. If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10 million, Laporta Contracting doesn't need a large deposit like those other contractors do. Typical deposits other contractors want are 1/3 of the contract. If your job is $30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000. What are they doing with your money? Typically, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a permit, and HOAs, much longer.
I'm just reading over some stories I want to be talking about coming up. I want to take some calls when I get back, but...
Commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Hey, my true oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are 2 big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to JupiterJoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com.
Are you exhausted after work with no energy left in the tank to give your family? Are you having a midday crash on a daily basis? Women, are menopause symptoms like hot flashes, anxiety, and depression making your daily life feel far more difficult than it should? Men, do you feel like you're aging far beyond what you should? Is your sexual life and relationship suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom? Then take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical Center help you stop the symptoms that are holding you back. We use all natural hormone optimization therapies with precision technology to help solve your problematic symptoms. Our family-owned practice has had the honor of serving our South Florida community for over 71 years. Call us right now and let our medical team get you optimized and feeling the way that you should. Life is too short to be running at less than 100%. You and your family deserve the best version of you. Call us at 754-222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Alexa, what's the longest running radio show in the state of Florida?
The Steve Kane Show, which has been on the air since
Wow.
1977, is the longest running radio show in Florida.
The Steve Kane Show, weekday mornings, right here on True Oldies.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right. Welcome back. If you're on hold, hang in there. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. If I'm coughing or hacking, it's because I pulled a sweater out of the closet today, and it's obviously covered in dust. I should have thrown this in the dryer and let it tumble around for a little bit before I wore it, because we don't wear our winter weather clothing too much here in Florida, do we? No, but it's one of those days. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Good morning.
Oh, hey, Richie.
You and I are on the same team here. I mean, we're on the Trump train.
Here comes the butt.
No, that's not going to be a but this morning. You know Trump didn't do this.
Yes.
Trump didn't do this. You know the jury that convicted President Trump knew he didn't do that. You know the judge in that courtroom knew he didn't do it. Anybody else wouldn't have, the charges wouldn't have been brought because they would have said, there's nothing there. It's more than a witch hunt, and it's so obvious to all Trump voters and for most people that are, decent thinking people. I don't think you really have to convince anybody. The conviction is right in front of all of us. And you got Nikki Haley agreeing with the bird politically.
Yep.
What I hope that you realize, see, you're not a bit. I mean, this has to pertain with President Trump and all of us. You're not a big sports fan. I know that.
No.
You don't watch football.
No.
You don't see the secret weapon that they're posting on every 2 minutes on television.
What are you talking about? Taylor Swift?
Yeah, that's right. She's got but she is going after Trump. They are all talking.
Well, Vivek Ramaswamy, okay, I'll get to this. And I was going to maybe mention this today, but I'll mention it now. Vivek Ramaswamy said yesterday that he predicts that Taylor Swift is going to win the Super Bowl, right? The Chiefs. And that it's going to be fixed. Vivek Ramaswamy said that the Super Bowl is going to be fixed for the Chiefs to win so that the publicity of that can be used for Taylor Swift to endorse Biden. And a lot of people believe that football is fixed. I don't know enough about it to get into that, but I think Vivek is onto something there.
Absolutely, but I don't know about the fix either. I don't think it's going to be fixed. I think Kansas City's the team, but the thing is this. She's not just going to endorse him. She's going to, because this old fart can't even get off it.
But you know what? A couple things about Taylor Swift, okay? First off, she's already endorsed Biden, okay? So that's not new. The second thing is, who cares? I saw, my wife likes football. Okay, I don't. I know, kind of a little role reversal there. Maybe I'll get her a fishing pole like E. Jean Carroll's. No, my wife likes football. I don't, so I watch it sometimes. And they were showing some clips of Taylor Swift over the season, and they were doing something. I don't know what it was they were doing. It wasn't the wave, but it was one of those audience reactions, and they showed Taylor Swift doing it, who overplayed it so much it was ridiculous. Who cares what Taylor Swift thinks about anything?
Tell you why. Because they're making an idol out of her.
When I was the age of the average Taylor Swift fan, do you know who was the Taylor Swift of my generation?
Let me think.
Think skank.
I'm not.
Madonna. I know there's so many, Richie. Madonna. Okay. And when I went and saw Truth or Dare in the theater. I've seen Madonna in concert, and I was even on MTV when MTV was a big deal at the Madonna concert at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Okay, so I always had a thing I wanted to be in the media, but anyway, and I used to care what Madonna thought when I was a child. Okay, when I saw Truth or Dare, and she was talking about things, I was mesmerized by the brilliance that is Madonna. Right? She was dating Warren Beatty then. I was a child. People that care what Taylor Swift thinks are going to, if they vote, are going to vote Democrat anyway. Who cares?
You're probably 150% right on this one, but her concerts over $1 billion world record, and they're showing that she hates Trump. And her boyfriend, who's a football player, by the way, both campaigned together against President Trump, which I think you're right, but this is what they're going to try to pull out of the hat. These people are desperate.
These are the kind of, listen, talking about Taylor, isn't it bad enough that the NFL do nothing but talk about Taylor Swift, so you got to call in and talk about Taylor Swift? But I'll do it. Those of you on hold, bear with us. I'll get through this quickly. I don't want to drive our audience away. But the thing about Taylor Swift, okay, in a sophisticated way, if I were in a position to talk about this, okay, this would be if I could get an interview with Taylor Swift about this very thing, right? Her Trump hatred and her endorsement of Joe Biden. What do you think I would ask Taylor Swift? If I could ask one question, what do you think my question would be?
What do you?
If she came, no, that's what you would ask. No. Of course she could answer that. Why do you hate President Trump? No. If Taylor Swift came in studio and was sitting at the guest microphone and she was endorsing Biden and trashing Trump, and I could ask one question, it would not be, why do you hate Trump? I'll give you another guess.
I have no idea.
Okay, all right, Taylor Swift, do you take the Trump tax cut deductions in your taxes since you're worth $1 quadrillion? Now, she would come on and say, well, I have accountants for that. Exactly, and they take them. Okay? So if he's such an evil man, why are you taking his tax cuts that, by the way, are coming back with Joe Biden? That if I could ask just one question, it would be that. But that, they got other questions soon.
You're right. But they're going to use her, you know it. So, I mean, we must...
Use her for what? To tell a bunch of... so what? Who cares about the world? I know she's flying, but...
She's going to go... Listen to me. She is going to campaign, not just endorse. She's literally going to be on every commercial you're going to see. I'm telling you, it's coming.
I tell you, it's such a funny thing about celebrity and what people think. When Princess Diana died, right, and there was all that paparazzi, do you know, other than Princess Diana, during that era, do you know who the number one paparazzi target was for photographs? At the time of Princess Diana, of her peak, when the paparazzi were chasing her, there was another person they were chasing. You know who it was?
No.
Michael J. Fox. People would run down. These paparazzis would. He lived in New York, and they wanted to get pictures of him with his baby. They would chase him around. You couldn't give away a photograph of Michael J. Fox now. No one cares. Okay, you know what I mean. So who cares what celebrities think? When has a celebrity swayed an election? Tell me one. I'll tell you. You know who one of the biggest supporters and endorsers of Barack Obama was? Celebrity-wise?
No.
Matt Damon. And this was at the peak of his fame when he was an A-list movie star. And I saw Matt Damon got out of politics. He did that movie, I forgot what it was called. It was the one he did with Jodie Foster. It had an E in it. It was about some science fiction thing where all the rich people lived in space and the poor people lived on Earth. Ethereum, or not Ethereum, that's a metal, I don't know, something like that. That's a cryptocurrency, it's something like that. But Elysium. And I saw him on an interview. He was campaigning with Elizabeth Warren in Massachusetts because he's from Boston. That's how much he was doing. And when Elysium came out, he was asked, why aren't you doing politics anymore? And he says, I realize people don't care what I think, I'm just a celebrity. So who cares?
Yeah, but why do you think they're going to do this? Why do you think they're going to spend...
Because they always do. They always go use celebrities. It started with the Rat Pack with Kennedy, okay? Celebrities always endorse Democrats, and none of them influence anyone. Tell me one celebrity that's influenced a vote in a national election. One.
They're not going to influence me, but they're not. But I mean,
well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general.
Yeah, I've never seen the phenomenon like her.
You just watch football all day Sunday, and you see Taylor, and then you watch the commentary, and I a couple weeks ago, I watched a bit on Saturday Night Live where they were doing the sports, and all they were talking about was Taylor Swift. You don't just watch the games, you're watching the post and pre-game and the in-between and all that, and they're talking about Taylor Swift, and so you got Taylor Swift on the brain. I got to run, Richie. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, bear with us. I apologize for the Taylor Swift discussion, but, it's open phones are Friday, but there's one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve.
By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and everyone please like the video.
It was brought to my attention, Aaron, because
yeah.
My podcast, we do bullet points to figure out what
yeah.
to know about tomorrow. And the guy who's helping me was saying that when Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift when
Yeah.
they got together then to
Kiss.
celebrate,
Yeah.
right after, and here's the thing with them, they both are sponsored by Pfizer.
Mm.
Right after they had like a little
Yeah.
moment, Pfizer commercial.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. So
They both endorse Pfizer.
so right after they had the little moment, Pfizer commercial.
Oh my gosh.
So
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, other than that,
That's crazy.
Only Chief fans and Swifties, quote unquote, really care about Taylor Swift on there.
Yeah,
Everyone
nobody
else
cares.
that I've seen
Who
do
ca-
not want Taylor Swift. Like we didn't want the Chiefs Super Bowl because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I know, it's annoying. It's annoying.
Everyone else doesn't want to except two people: Chiefs and Taylor Swift.
Good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day. The buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane and check out KANE and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
You can make 2024 the year of more ocean views and quality time with your cruise with Margaritaville at Sea's new buy one, get three promotion. Now, for a limited time, you can bring up to 3 guests for free when you buy just 1 guest fare. Bring your friends, family, or kids along for free on fun-soaked getaways to the Bahamas, aboard the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, or adventure together with your best mates in Mexico and Key West this summer aboard the all-new Islander. Don't miss out on a sail like
No.
no other. Go to margaritavillatsea.com and book today.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I hope we have listeners left after Richie drove me into that discussion, but I let it happen. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hope, Arkansas.
Yeah.
I need to apologize to you.
What, for Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton's from Hope. Are you calling to apologize for President Clinton?
No, I'm calling because I made a poor quality.
Okay, well, I'll take that apology, but let's not follow it up with another poor quality call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yes.
I'm actually on the air?
Yeah, you don't have to scream. Yes, you're on the air. It's a telephone, not a megaphone. That's okay. Either have I. You got what?
I got a message from God in the clouds back in the 80s. I was looking at the clouds and the Greek symbol appeared.
Okay, all right. See what happens with Richie calls in? See what Open Phones is on Friday, people, okay? Open Phones is on Friday, but they're not that open for that guy, I don't think, ever. Oh, my goodness. All right, I don't know what he said. He said something opened up. I hit the dump button just to be safe, so if you're on hold, hang in there as we wait for the delay to re-engage. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. See, this is why you only do Open Phones one day a week. When you allow people to just call in about it, and the thing with Richie is my fault, okay? But I was going to actually bring up the thing with Vivek Ramaswamy later in the Super Bowl, so I let it go. But when you let people call in about anything they want every day of the week, the show gets, and not just this one, this would be any show, just becomes a show that's completely random, okay? And you can't let that happen because boom, 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 that's what happens. All right, let's go. Let's try to recover what's left of this morning's program. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, boy, I don't know. We're failing today. See, I appreciate it, Richie. See, I told you, Richie drove the quality away. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, there you go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Appreciate it, Richie. Now, I want to tell you guys about William Youngerman, our gold, silver, platinum, precious metals deal. You know, William Youngerman's been with us here on the Steve Kane Show for about 20 years. When he joined us, gold was at $435 an ounce, and now it's over $2,000. I mean, is that crazy? And I tell this story often. It's kind of like Albert Brooks in Defending Your Life. If you've ever seen that movie, you'll get this. I remember Steve and I, we met with William Youngerman, and we left, and Steve says, you should buy some gold. I said, Steve, it's $435 an ounce. $435 an ounce. Gold's been around for 5,000 years. How high can it go? And now it's over 2,000, okay? I was an idiot. Could you imagine? Oh, my goodness. If I'd have bought $2,000 in gold then, oh, my goodness. It'd be amazing today. But, hey, that's gold. So, William Youngerman, I know. Now, most people wouldn't share a foolish decision like that as often as I do, if ever, but I do, because I want to tell you, listen to William Youngerman when we talk to him each day in our last break. But, here's the thing. There's so many people that are advertising gold and other metals on television and online, and you want to be aware of these people. You want to be aware of them for many reasons, but a couple of them are this. One, they're overcharging you for the metals, okay? The national advertising, it costs a lot of money, and they make you pay for it by overcharging you for the metals. And they overcharge you for the metals in such a way that you may not even be able to ever see a profit on them. They jack them up that much. Okay? That's number one. There's another racket going on. I mean, I consider it a racket. I'm not an expert, but this gold IRA thing, and you don't have possession of your gold, someone's holding it in some mystical vault somewhere. You want to take physical possession of your metals, okay? And you can do that with William Youngerman. The other thing is, not only are you going to get more gold, more silver, more platinum for your money than any of these other places, okay? Everything is confidential and secure, and you can do all of your transactions, both buying and selling with William Youngerman over the phone and through the mail, no matter where you're located, anywhere in the world. And that includes local. If you're here in Florida and you can't make it into his shop in Boca, see, here's the dust. He can help you. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. Oh. See, if I was smart, I would take this sweater off, but then I would be naked. And I'm live streaming on YouTube, and I'm not gonna do that, okay? I'm wearing a see-through white T-shirt underneath, and I'm certainly not gonna show myself in see-through clothes here on YouTube. But anyway, back to this. William Youngerman, his number is 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and online, WilliamYoungerman.com. He opens up at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so back to the stories at hand. I'm going to spend the rest of the show probably trying to save this show from the self-destruction that is Richie, and hopefully, Steve will be joining us at the top because my voice and throat are out of it. I apologize, guys, for all of this. Maybe I should pull up some sound bites I was going to play later because I can't talk right now. So, as the campaign goes full strength here, there's a lot of things going on that are in play right now. And what I started the show with at 6, I want to end this hour with, and then in the next hour when Steve joins us, I've got some new things we haven't gotten to yet. But as I was talking yesterday on the program, that here my voice has changed. See, this is what happens, guys. It's cold. If you do what I did and you pull a sweater out of the closet that you haven't worn in a year, put it in the dryer and let it toss around in the dryer for a little bit, the dryer will get the dust out. I started to do that this morning, and I just took the sweater out of the closet and I shook it off a couple times and then put it on, and now I'm choking and can't breathe because I'm inhaling all these dust mites and whatever else is in here from the closet. But anyway, the war infomercial, World War III infomercial, is continuing, and there's a question that I've been asking, and I'm going to ask it again, and I think this is more important than Taylor Swift. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is more important than Taylor Swift, slightly. Now, this has even been in our top of the hour news reports on the program today. This attack on the U.S. base in Jordan was successful because our defense systems thought that the drone was a U.S. drone. Now, to me, that seems impossible. With the modern technology that we have, that seems impossible to me. How could they mistake this drone for one of our drones? Right? So here's the question about the drone. And it's been at the top of the hour this morning. I've heard it on Fox. I've seen it on CNN. And I'm sure MSNBC has the same story. Mistakenly, they thought it was... Is it possible that the drone was a U.S. drone? Is this a drone that Biden left behind in Afghanistan and the Taliban gave or sold it to Iran? Maybe they did it through Russia, maybe they did it through China, but was this a U.S. drone? And I think that's a very important question. And, you know, I get so burned watching these press conferences, okay? There's been a lot of press conferences about all this that's been going on, and I haven't heard anyone get into the details of that. You know, they got this story about this brain implant of Elon Musk. Are you telling me that a nation that is high-tech enough to implant brain chips to control your cell phone and computer in people's brains can't tell the difference between a U.S. drone and an Iranian drone? Are you kidding me? And I would put the chances at about 95% that that drone was a U.S. drone. That our person, and you know what? That would mean that our soldiers were killed by a U.S. drone. Now, the other thing I want to hear your thoughts on this, by the way. The number's 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You know, this thing about the open phones, you know, when before Richie's call, we had 2 openings on the board, just to give you guys an idea. See what Richie's probably sitting back, look, I got some power. I'm like E. Jean Carroll. Yeah, you're just like E. Jean Carroll. You're about as attractive, too. But the thing about this, and this is a very important point, all right? President Trump and all these charges against him, they're charging him with all this. And President Trump is saying presidents need to have immunity, that if presidents don't have immunity, anytime they do an airstrike, they can be prosecuted. And the media are attacking President Trump every time he says that. In fact, every time he says something about presidential immunity, they make fun of him and say presidents are not above the law. Presidents are not above the law. So here's the question. If presidents are not above the law and have no immunity, if this was a U.S. drone that Biden left behind in Afghanistan with the Taliban, and the Taliban gave it to Iran, and the Iranians gave it to those terrorists, and they killed 3 U.S. service personnel with a drone that Biden left behind in Afghanistan, should Joe Biden be charged with manslaughter of these 3 personnel and with whatever crimes are involved with those that were wounded? And I think that is a legitimate question. This is not some hype question. This isn't some question to try to light up phones or anything else. And it's certainly not a rhetorical question. See, this is the thing. When we talk about the news, you know, what we have in the news is state-controlled media. State-controlled media. That's exactly what it's like. Pravda in the Soviet Union. Okay? They don't report. They don't ask questions. They get the story. They get the questions from, I don't know, the deep state. Maybe it first goes to an editor who forwards it to them so it looks like there's a process. They don't have thinking skills. They don't ask the real questions. They just report what the media are told to do by the government, and that is World War III. And I think this question about the drone is probably the most important question anyone could ask today or this week. Now, if you're on hold, stand by, unless you want to talk about Taylor Swift. But those of you on hold, stand by. We'll be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Line, where winning is 560-570-5700.
Coolio.
Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show.
Is that Joe on the phone?
No, just regular listener. The other
Okay.
person didn't.
Okay.
We got Siegel after this break as well, though.
Okay.
So I don't know if Joe's going to be for the 8:30 instead.
Okay.
So I'm going to be waiting for
Just let me know when it's him because I can't, you know.
Also, yeah, Vic got you those shirts.
Oh, I wasn't sure if they were for me or for.
They're for you.
Oh, the change out of this?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta choke to get station closed.
He came over to me. He's like, "These are for Brian."
Oh, okay. The owner of the station gave me some new clothes for my coughing. They don't want me coughing on the air. They don't want me choking.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Check out the big game party February 11th in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with a delicious $30 all-you-can-eat buffet, great drink specials, also big prizes including tickets to your favorite team's regular season game next season, and all the super action on over 140 HD TVs. The Paddock is your perfect spot to catch all the OTB and sports action. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office for those big labs. Go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
Human brain through a computer. Elon Musk announcing that for the first time, his company Neuralink has implanted a brain chip in a human. Musk saying the person is recovering well. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection. Neuralink's goal is to help paralysis patients communicate by connecting.
No Taylor Swift. Yeah, I agree. I agree. The Soros Super Bowl.
U.S. analysts think the explosives-laden drone that hit a U.S. base in Jordan was mistaken for a U.S. drone.
See, did you hear it? You hear it?
5 years in the federal penitentiary, the sentence for Charles Littlejohn, formerly a contract worker with the Internal Revenue Service, who leaked tax returns to Donald Trump and thousands of other well-off Americans. This is ABC News.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson, yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson, yeah!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt.
All right, here we go.
Since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right. We are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Call us on hold standby. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve. Oh, my, yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Spoke our president into getting violent, so the Hamas has decided they're going to take the battle to us.
Okay, that's good.
And this morning.
Okay. Yeah.
At least there's somebody willing to stand up for what they believe in, even though it's the
You're not telling me you're in favor of bombing Iran, are you?
joke.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Jokes, guy.
Okay. Well, you know what they say about jokes, if you got to ask. All right, our number's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I just heard at the top of the hour again, they said our defense systems mistakenly identified the drone as a U.S. drone, and I'm telling you, that was probably a U.S. drone. We were probably attacked by one of our own drones that Biden left behind in Afghanistan. I'm telling you.
What I'm about to say is a feeling, an intuition and I don't have any specific facts to back it up, but I'm under the impression that when the Afghanistan war ended, all the guns in the region were in Afghanistan, and probably most of the guns used in the conflicts to good guys and bad guys, they're probably...
Yes. Yeah. But you know, well, here's the thing about the drone. They keep saying, I first heard this on Fox this morning, that our defense systems thought it was a U.S. drone. And my first thought was, well, if our defense systems are so weak that they can't determine what is a U.S. or enemy drone, that seems like classified information that you shouldn't be giving out. And now what I'm realizing is they're giving out this information because it was a U.S. drone, and they're afraid people are going to figure it out, and they're trying to cover it up and trying to act as if our defense systems can't tell the difference. This is, let me tell you, if this was a U.S. drone, they killed 3 U.S. service personnel, that is a big story, and it's an important story, and that means that...
Can you think of a period in history that has been more traumatic and where the country is in greater danger than today?
Well, this would be if this drone, it's killed 3 American service personnel, wounded about 3 dozen others, and you know, there's those that are wounded, some of them could pass from their wounds. Well, I don't know, you're right. I hope not, but they could. To me, if that's a Biden drone from Afghanistan that he left behind, okay, this would be, to my knowledge, the first time we would have direct evidence of a president of the United States being responsible for the death of American service personnel out of their total stupidity, okay? I mean, out of their direct actions. It would be, it's not the first time people would have suspected it, it would be the first time that we had proof of it, you know? And that's a big story. That's a big story. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Let's go back to our formerly filled up phone lines after show killer Richie's call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Henry, West Palm Beach. How you guys doing this morning?
Not too bad. You know, I was choking because of the dust on my sweater, and then senior management from the radio station brought me new clothes to change into. Isn't that nice?
Perfect.
Yes. I don't you love it when they take care of the talent? I love it. It's nice. But, yeah.
Sound like that they do.
Yeah.
And going back to this thing with presidential immunity, Vincent Bugliosi, the guy that prosecuted Manson, actually wrote a book about W, trying to hold him responsible for 4,000 American deaths because they lied about the weapons destruction.
That's right.
But it's not a prosecute because he's in the protected class. That will never.
Well, no, the reason I bring this up, by the way, Bugliosi, we had him in studio on the show once. I don't know if you remember, Steve, a long time ago. I was all excited, helter-skelter and all that. Yeah, but you know, the thing about, the reason I bring this up is I do believe that was a U.S. drone, okay? And the story that they couldn't identify it is a deep state misinformation thing. Okay. Presidential immunity is being talked about because of these ridiculous, absurd lawfare cases against the great President Trump. President Trump over the weekend came out, talked about presidential immunity. The entire mainstream media laughed at him. They said he was whining. No president's above the law. If this was a U.S. drone, Biden killed those 3 service personnel. Does he get immunity or does he get prosecuted for manslaughter? That's a serious question.
Because he's part of the protected class, he'll get the immunity.
Well, there's either presidential immunity or there's not.
But it's back to the 2 standards. It's back to the 2-tier justice system.
Well, I don't accept that, and that's why I'm asking the question.
Well, I would say that they would give him presidential immunity.
You know, yesterday, you talk about the double standard. Did you see this thing that happened with Nancy Pelosi?
Well,
she got the audio. No, she's not confused. You know, anytime she gets confused, she just gets back on her broom, and her powers bring her mind back. But no. She was confronted by these liberal pink ladies, code pink ladies, and the audio was not good enough clarity for me to play on the radio, okay? But you can find this online after 9 o'clock. Do nothing until after 9 o'clock. But she told them to go back to China. So that's racism. That's racism. So, you can, if you're a Democrat, you can openly be racist. You can kill people and still get the nomination and be honored and everything else. I understand the double standard, but I don't accept the double standard. And I'm going to continue to ask the questions. If this drone was a U.S. drone and presidents are not above the law and do not have presidential immunity, Joe Biden should be charged with manslaughter of those 3 service personnel.
Absolutely, and he should be charged with drugs.
Yeah, no. Presidents either have immunity or they don't. President Trump said after this, when he was talking about presidential immunity the other day, he was specifically talking about airstrikes. He said, if there's an airstrike and people get killed, do you charge the president? There's either presidential immunity or there's not. And if that was a U.S. drone, that means that Joe Biden is directly responsible for those service personnel's deaths.
Well, every president if they're serving in a time of war is responsible.
Well, there hasn't been a time of war since the Second World War. We haven't declared war since 1941. So there's no state of war, and Afghanistan and such was going on when Trump was in office. And they say he doesn't have presidential immunity. If you give, Steve, if a kid, this has happened, right? How many people have been charged with crimes because their kid has killed someone with their gun? Okay? So, you have responsibilities. And either presidents have immunity or they don't. They say presidents are not above the law, prosecute Trump with our fake cases. So that's got to apply to Joe Biden, and if that was a U.S. drone, manslaughter for the 3 service personnel killed.
I agree 1,000%.
Well, you're a wise.
It'll never happen with a Democrat, let alone Biden.
It wouldn't even happen with another Republican, okay, other than Trump, because the Republican uniparty. All right, great call. Thanks so much. We've got great calls. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Bruce from Georgia.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Otay. What did you say, Otay? You just said Otay. Buckwheat. No. Oh gosh, no. Yeah, I'm sure. No, we're fine.
Go ahead,
I hear somebody else.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll figure it out and call back. All right, we'll be right back. That was the same guy from before.
Steve?
That's right. I left my mic on like Joy Reid during the break. But I didn't drop the F word like Joy Reid did with her mic last night. All right, it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today, Brian?
I'm doing well. How are you? All right. What do you have for us today?
Well, we are just about at the very end of January. By the time I speak to you next it'll be February. So wanted to just say for the final time, as far as New Year's resolutions, here we are at the end of January. And the question is, have you done anything about taking care of your estate planning? Was that on your New Year's resolution to have your estate plan reviewed, to have your estate plan done if you don't have one? Is that something that you've been thinking about? If it is, now is really, if you want to get it taken care of in January, or at least get the ball rolling with it, now is the time to go ahead and take some steps to make sure that you protect the legacy for yourself, for your spouse, your children, and make sure you don't leave a mess behind. Make sure the right people get things, the wrong people are out. Make sure that you don't leave any opportunity for the wrong people to try to contest anything. And just make sure that your family has peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you want to make sure that your wife's next husband and his family don't inherit what you leave behind, too, which is something, sadly, that can happen. Now, remember, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help. And it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard attorney Barry Siegel on the radio. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk in February. I can't believe it already.
Well,
all right, we'll be right back.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. I can breathe now. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is with us. Callers on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE1. Before we go back to the phones, I want to mention that all items at MyPillow.com are now with our promo code Kane at checkout, KANE, come with free shipping. No matter what it is, you get free shipping plus the special. Mike Lindell has offered this to our audience due to your support of him through these difficult times. Recently, MyPillow, of course, banned from advertising on the Fox News channel. And, you know, my daughter, Steve, she's visiting from California. Today's her last day here, sadly. And last night she stayed at Grandma's house, and she borrowed Grandma's car and came over to the house last night just to pick up a MyPillow because Grandma didn't have any extra MyPillows. I guess I got to get Grandma some MyPillows. But she couldn't. I got her MyPillows for California. She has MyPillows at our house, but she didn't have one on the guest bed at Grandma's house. So she came back home to get her MyPillows and then left us. And that was the MyPillow 2.0, which is 50% off with our promo code Kane. But remember, it's free shipping, plus you get the special deal if it's on discount with our promo code Kane at checkout at MyPillow.com. All right. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? Okay. Oh, boy. I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark.
You know, that gets pretty old listening to Nikki Haley talking about going after all the resources to shut down Iran. So resource money, shut the money down and everything else is done.
Well, you know, with Nikki Haley, in the audio clip I played yesterday, Nikki Haley said she wants to take out the leadership and factories in Syria, Iran, and did she say Jordan? 3 countries. She wants to take out their leadership. She wants to take out their factories, et cetera, you know. And she wants to cause World War III. Now, her husband is a major in the service and is currently deployed. He's with the South Carolina National Guard. And I'm starting to wonder if she wants to keep him deployed because according to those depositions, she was having these extramarital affairs while her husband was deployed.
Who is this, the husband?
No, the guy she was having sex with other than her husband. So is Nikki Haley trying to start World War III to keep her husband deployed more so she can have more fun? I don't know, but I would ask her.
She is one sick person for sure.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, she is. She is. All right, yeah.
But, you know, that's the one thing about Trump. He's a businessman, and he understands if you don't have any money, you can't do anything.
Well, you know, Nikki Haley made her millions. Remember, she was broke when she left office. She made her millions from the military-industrial complex, right? Boeing, all that stuff, those boards. You know, President Trump made his living, you know, building hotels, resorts, television, things like this. So, you know, they make their money in different ways. She makes money off of people getting killed. The war machine.
They make money off of war.
That's right.
Sad, but that's what they do.
And appreciate the call. One of the most low-life things someone can do is to be a war profiteer, right? It's like price gouging. War profiteer, very low-life way to make a living. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian and Steve. How you doing, guys?
All right.
Good.
Hey, good. Hey, listen, Brian, back to what you said earlier about that drone mistake for Iranian drone. I kind of agree with you in the sense that a drone is not something that independently flies. It is operated, it has a controller, sits there, so the frequency the only way the frequency could have been crossed unless it is one of ours. Okay? And if you have two drones flying at the same time and you can't tell the difference, then something is wrong.
I'm telling you, I think it's 95% chance that drone was one of our drones that Biden left in Afghanistan. I'm telling you.
I agree. I'm leaning to thinking that could be the possibility.
We don't know for sure, and we're never going to know because the press they're not going to get to the bottom of this.
Exactly. And talking about press, have you noticed how the press is pushing this border agreement with Biden and the Republican and Trump is standing in the way?
Yeah.
So they're blaming it. They're blaming Trump for anything that is not going to be in Biden's favor. Mm-hmm. Listen, are these Republicans jackass or what? What are they?
By the way, I got a question. I was waiting for a caller of color, which would be you, right? Okay, you're a caller of color. Where's BLM? These 3 service personnel who were killed are all African American. Where's BLM? Do Black Lives matter or not? I mean, what's going on here? Do these Black Lives not matter to them? They're not talking about them.
Now listen, my black friends don't like me because they don't think I'm black.
What do you mean they don't think you're black?
No. The way
he doesn't have the paranoia that most American blacks have, thinking that the
way I think is totally different. I'm a Christian. I see the world as how God sees people. We all are one. I don't care where your skin color or what. I have a white girlfriend, a black girlfriend. I don't care who you are.
Wait, you've got a white girlfriend and a black girlfriend? You've got 2 girlfriends?
No, Brad, I'm not polygamous. Come on, dude.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. All right. Yes. You know what they call that? You know what they call that? You don't care about what you know what kind of sexuality that is that you are?
Not some of these crazy.
No, this is not pansexual. You are trisexual. You'll try it with any woman, no matter what color she is. That's right, trisexual. Okay, haven't been able to use that one in a long time. That's a good joke of mine. I created like in high school. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm Beach.
Yes, Mike.
I'm doing well, Steve and Brian. Off the subject matter for a moment.
No, last time we went off the subject matter, I had every line full except 2, and it cleared out the lines. That was Richie and Taylor Swift. So we'll give you a moment to see.
I wonder about Wings Plus. Are you going to be doing Wings Plus again in the near future?
Not in the we'll be eating there, but
in the election we'll be doing one. I can promise you that.
But they serve food even when Steve and I aren't there.
And it is the best in the world.
I want to make the cruise, but it's filled up, so I can't. Any possibility you think that I might have a cancellation, so I'm not going to get into that cruise?
Well, I'll tell you what. You call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. I'll give you his number right now, and he'll keep if there's an opening, he'll set you up.
What's the number?
It's Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. 561-244. 5779. 561-244-5779.
Great. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Your subject matter today. I would make one comment. I think you're right on the money again, Brian. There was one said by President Roosevelt, a quotation. I almost know it word for word. And he said, way back when, to the public, he said, quote, beware of the military-industrial
That was Eisenhower. Eisenhower, not Roosevelt. Eisenhower.
Mixed up. Okay. I'm older. I get things mixed up.
The same guy that said the time and the place of our...
That was Biden. Biden said all those things the other day. I shall return. Well,
I trust him.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah. Well, listen, Mike, call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Call. All right. Appreciate the call. Call Ian, and if there's an opening, he'll set you up on the cruise, and look forward to spending a week with you at sea. Oh, boy. All right. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is our number. Oh boy. All right. Let's take one more call. It's against my. I just have a bad feeling about this one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Just the way the line was blinking.
Hi, Brian.
Yes.
Brian, hi, Steve. This is Steve from Chicago.
Hey, Chicago. What's up?
How you doing? How are things in Chi-Town?
Good to talk to you, too. Anyway, as far as I just go back to The Godfather when Diane Keaton says to Al Pacino, "Oh, senators and presidents don't have men killed."
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. No. All right. Now I tell you though, you know what I think of when I think of the guy mentions Godfather. You know who? I'll tell you who Biden reminds me of from The Godfather. Godfather 2, the senator. Remember when? Remember the senator wouldn't play ball with Michael, and then the next thing they found him in a brothel. Remember that? That's Biden. And his son. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'll tell you what he was mumbling after the show, Steve, if you remind me. Okay. After the show, all I do was tell people things that were said that they couldn't be, the thing that have happened. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Didn't I tell you guys? By the way the line was blinking, I've got a bad feeling about this call. And boy, I've got a sixth sense. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. 27 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hit of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
For the WPBF 25 First Morning Weather Center, this is meteorologist Brooke Silvering. A chilly start this morning with cold temperatures. Temperatures later on this afternoon look for the upper 60s and are mostly sunny conditions. Very pleasant day overall. Light wind out of the northwest at around 10 miles per hour. Evening temperatures falling quickly to the 60s. Another cold start as we head into your Wednesday. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops.
Okay.
North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
The Palm Beach Expressway still crash-free this morning. Earlier, broken down vehicle blocking the right shoulder. 95 southbound from Boynton Beach Boulevard now cleared. We're seeing usual delays. 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach and Boca. Also, the turnpike northbound southbound in the Lake Worth area. We have a new multi-vehicle crash right now at Dog Crossroad at Sea Oaks Drive and Military Trail at Summit Boulevard. And a crash is on similar Pratt Whitney Road is north of Town Center Parkway. This report is sponsored by HCA Florida Healthcare. Whenever you need them, just reach out and they will be there. More locations, more experts, and more resources to deliver the healthcare you need. To comfort you and make you feel your best, find a care site near you at HCAFloridaHealthcare.com. That's traffic.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with an exciting lineup of comedians like Holland Williams with 2 shows February 2nd and 3rd, Joe DeVito, Adam Carolla, and Pauly Shore. And check out fabulous dinner shows with Portrait of Aretha February 9th and Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis Valentine's Day event February 14th. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot.
Whoa, make that switch. Make that switch to City Kia. To City Kia.
Start this new year in a new City Kia. Last year, over 5,000 customers made the switch and joined the City Kia family, and you can too. Save up to $8,000 on select new City Kias. Get up to $5,000 over KBB fair market value for your trade. City Kia always has the best deals, like Kia Forte from only $119 a month. And remember, City Kia delivers vehicles anywhere in the USA. This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. Why? Because City Kia is where the magic lives.
Oh, my goodness.
Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
By treating knee pain with laser, treatment is simple and no side effects. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. So all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up through the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injection, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954
This is insane.
0710. Make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike, West Palm Beach.
Hey, Mike.
Let me say something. I went to Jupiter Joe's. He spent an hour and 20 minutes with me in front of his desk going over all of my assets and advising me. And I'll tell you, that man is very thorough, and he really knows what he's talking about. He has given me some really great advice that I hadn't considered prior to that meeting, and I think that's going to help my life very, very much.
Call Joe Thomas for your free phone consultation and a free copy of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. Online, JupiterJoe.com.
This is unbelievable. Pisses me off when I'm just reading. This story I'm just reading now really pisses me off. I'll get to it when we get back. All right, we're coming back right now.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47.
All right, I'm reading a story here during the break that really ticks me off, okay? Now, you know, Fox News was once the greatest place. When Fox News was new, it was amazing. I mean, I remember when it was 2000 when Fox News came on the air in 94, but no one watched it until after the 2000 election and all that stuff in Florida happened then. And it was amazing. And then it was, and Roger Ailes was a great man. Do you know, a lot of you guys don't know this. You remember seeing this probably live, Steve. Remember when Nixon talked to Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong over the phone on the moon? I was not alive yet, but you were, right? Roger Ailes was in charge of that call for President Nixon. And he was so smart, he made sure that President Nixon was looking the way that the astronauts were going to be on the TV screen, and he was just a brilliant man, Roger Ailes. And Fox News was destroyed by man-hating women, right? Megyn Kelly and others, who started all this Me Too sexual harassment business going on. And they got rid of the legendary Roger Ailes, the great Bill O'Reilly, you know, and Eric Bolling, and great, you know, all that. It was just pretty twisted, and they've turned it into a women's network, right? I mean, and Fox News, in its current format, is this way largely because of the destruction of women. And Newsmax, I love Newsmax. I think Newsmax is amazing. Newsmax is, oh my goodness, Newsmax is what Fox News was to us in 2000. It's the one place you can go to get the real news, not this corporate crap, okay? That's it, okay? And I love Newsmax. Chris Ruddy, the founder of Newsmax, we used to have him on this show regularly before Newsmax magazine even existed. I don't know. It was before the internet. I remember having him on, Steve. He was covering the Vince Foster suicide scandal. And I don't remember, the only thing I don't remember, we had him on about that many times. We had him on with Geraldo. And yeah, and the controversy around Vince Foster, by the way, who was chief White House counsel to Bill Clinton, is that he did commit suicide in the White House, and then Hillary had him moved to the park.
Ceremoniously moved.
Yeah, and it's been a long time. But we used to have Chris Reddy on back then. I don't remember how he got his stories out back then, though. Do you? I don't remember, because there was no internet yet, right? We didn't have the Newsmax website. There certainly was no Newsmax TV, because that came long after the website, and there was no Newsmax magazine. That came after the website. But I don't remember how he used to get his stories out. But anyway, I've always been a supporter of Newsmax and everything they've always done. I don't always agree with them, but I think they're great. They got great reporters. They ask the right questions. I think Rob Schmidt and Greg Kelly are the greatest on television today, and two of the greatest with that type of show in the history of the cable news television thing. And I'm not, and the reason I bring this up is there's women are trying to destroy Newsmax again, and what's going on at Newsmax, I just. No, you will. It's going to be all over because they will. Steve, I'm doing an exciting build-up to the story, okay? Okay? If you haven't noticed, okay? But theater of the mind, it's radio. But the thing about it is, when you are unique and hot and growing like Newsmax, you always have to understand that these evildoers are out to destroy you, and you have to carry yourself like a saint, not like a priest, because sadly they run into trouble, like a saint, okay? And so this is what's going on at Newsmax, okay? Newsmax, this is in media. You will hear this because they want it. Yeah, but you're going to hear this elsewhere because the rest of the media hate Newsmax, in particular Fox, so they're going to get this story all over the place, okay? Although you're hearing it first here on this program. Newsmax staffers received a memo Monday morning alerting them to a mandatory company-wide sexual harassment training just months after a sexual harassment scandal. How to not do it. This comes months after a sexual harassment scandal involving a top executive rocked the conservative news outlet. I'm reading from Mediaite, which is a liberal news source. The training, which will run for an entire week next month, comes after allegations against Newsmax Vice President of Programming, Chris Knowles. And, their programming's damn good, except Greta Van Boring, okay? She's boring. But other than Greta, their programming's choices are respect.
With the right guest, a whiz in terms of law. She has a great knowledge of the law, and she's very appropriate. She's
a guest. During the OJ trial, I hung on her every word. Okay, when she was doing, and the only time she was on the air that was interesting is when I interviewed her on this program when she first started at Newsmax. That was a very good interview that I did. If you guys heard that, I asked her some things that. Yeah, it was my questions, though, that got her interesting. But anyway, comes after allegations against Newsmax Vice President of Programming Chris Knowles. Multiple staffers make complaints about his alleged conduct to human resources. Allegations include circulating photos of a female staffer's cleavage without her knowledge or consent, requesting a female subordinate to remove her leather skirt in front of colleagues, and engaging in a consensual extramarital affair with a female subordinate. Okay. Now, listen, I'm not in favor of sexual harassment, but I'll tell you this. I thank the Lord above. I've been married for 27 years, and I got married before all this Me Too crap, okay? But before I was married, okay, in my period of time as an adult, which was very brief, because I got married at 25 or so. Yeah, you introduced me to my wife. But but in my adult dating life, okay, almost everybody I dated was girls I met through work, right? I mean, no, it's a crime now, Steve. You cannot date women from work anymore. So, it's tough to be single and dating because half the population are gay. A quarter of the half that's left are not the gender. I mean, it's very difficult. You can't date women from work anymore. You just can't.
If you do date women from work, you have to be cautious.
No, you can't. No, you cannot do it. Steve, part of the charges against him is a consensual affair that he had with a female subordinate. She consented.
Enough detail to know.
It says here in the story,
Be enough detail of what occurred.
A consensual extramarital affair with a female subordinate. Now, I'm not defending the extramarital affair.
If that's all it was, you have to know details to know if there was harassment.
That is Steve. Consent is harassment now. There is no consent. A man cannot engage in anything with a woman through work anymore. That's it. And I'm not approving of his behavior. I mean, he was married. Don't misunderstand me. But I'm not approving of an extramarital affair. But what they have done is they've made workplace romance criminal now. I mean, look at this thing with Vince McMahon. The next time you see Vince McMahon, you know what he's going to be doing?
Like harassment.
Oh, I don't know. But, the next time you see Vince McMahon, he's going to walk around acting like he's out of it, like he's senile and has Alzheimer's. He's going to try to do this defense like, But I'll tell you Vince McMahon should get as much cash together as he can, fly to France, and move in next door to Roman Polanski, because there's going to be all kinds of women coming forward now, okay? I promise you. It doesn't have to be true, and I'm not approving of any of these types of things, but what I'm telling you is that they have criminalized workplace romances, unless you're Jesse Waters, okay? And then you can let the air out of the tires of interns and stuff,
Mind me something. Can I just...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Steve Waters. I've been watching him lately. Do you know if there's been any change in his marital status?
Well, he's married to his former mistress, and they have children together. Other than that, no, I don't know. Why?
Well, because I watch him carefully when he works, and he's been... I don't know, it seems to me he's been different lately.
Well, I'll tell you this.
That come on thing for a while.
I'll tell you this. He cheated on his first wife, so his second wife, better watch out. Okay? That would be my advice. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'd be concerned.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch Jesse Waters, but you say he's been off?
Well, he started doing a lot of that flirtatious stuff. And there was talk about it.
Well, you know what I saw him do once with one of the girls? I don't remember her name. She's still on Fox. She's not one of the main girls. She's one of the mini blondes. And he was talking to her about something he saw her do with hot dogs live on the air. This was maybe 2 years ago. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe.
Style. But he stopped doing that for a while when he first announced it. He just gotten married, and he straightened up for a while. Now he's back to flirting.
Oh.
If there was any public statement about whether he is.
You gave me a reason maybe to watch Jesse Waters. I'll look. He's flirting with the ladies on air. Oh my goodness. I can
do that all the time.
Well, anyway. The reason I bring this up is, first off, my prayers are with Newsmax is important. I mean, this is the most important election of any of our lifetimes for real. Newsmax is a vital news outlet. We need Newsmax. So everyone at Newsmax, no hitting on each other, no dating, no sex. Did you talk to him? No, okay. Nothing. Not anybody. Nobody at work or anything else. Just, stick with your wives and outside of work stuff. No, we got no names. You guys got to be on your best. Newsmax, Fox News and the rest want to take you down. They're off. Their studios and offices are right down the street from the radio station. The media are looking to take you down, Newsmax. You've got to be saintly. You've got to be saintly when it comes to this stuff, okay? And I know they hire women and they show a lot of cleavage and spend a lot of time looking hot to turn guys on, but you gotta put the blinders on. I mean, I cannot tell. Newsmax is all we got in television. They're the only ones that carry the Trump speeches. They're the only ones that carry the Trump rallies on television. It's very important. They already took them off the DirecTV, and we can't have this going on. We need you, Newsmax. It's very, very, very important. So, all right, we'll take our break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation West El Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet him, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893. Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go back to their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Are you exhausted after work with no energy left in the tank to give your family? Are you having a midday crash on a daily basis? Women, are menopause symptoms like hot flashes, anxiety, and depression making your daily life feel far more difficult than it should? Men, do you feel like you are aging far beyond what you should? Is your sexual life and relationships suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom? Then take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical Center help you stop the symptoms that are holding you back. We use all natural hormone optimization therapies with precision technology to help solve your problematic symptoms. Our family-owned practice has had the honor of serving our South Florida community for over 71 years. Call us right now and let our medical team get you optimized and feeling the way that you should. Life is too short to be running at less than 100%. You and your family deserve the best version of you. Call us at 754-222-6642
William?
or visit us at Lighthouse Medical Center.
Oh, okay, good. I thought we were going to lose you. You with us? Okay, hold on. All right, we got saved because you were about to get the amateur gold report, which is not that great. We have William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with us. You saved us, William Youngerman.
Okay. Well, these metals did very well yesterday. In fact, all of the metals were up nicely. Gold closing up $14 at $2,032.80. Silver up 40 cents at $23.17 the ounce. Platinum gaining $17 at $930. And palladium closed up $25 at $969 the ounce. This morning, the rally continues for gold at least. up another $2.50 at $2,036.30. So we're down 10 cents right now at $23.08, but back over that $23 number we had. Platinum well above the $900 support levels, and even though it's down $9 this morning at $921, and palladium down $7 right now at $962, all after those nice gains from yesterday's.
Absolutely. Looking good. Now, at your shop, William Youngerman's in Boca, all the metals are available for immediate delivery, which means you walk out with your gold, your silver, your platinum in your hand. And it's important, very important, isn't it, William Youngerman, for people to have physical possession of their metal?
Absolutely. That's probably 9 cents the reason to own gold and the precious metals, is to have something tangible in your hands, and that has stood the test of time for over 5,000 years. The metals today are many times you're hearing people that are trying to get you to leave your metals at their places and then leverage it to get more for the money that you're putting up. That's very dangerous, and we do not recommend that.
Yeah, I've seen some of these things where they hold your gold, well, the other ones too, the silver, everything else, in some mystical vault somewhere else, and you never get to see it. I don't know. That sounds kind of shady to me, but I don't know. Listen, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. All right, we are back. Steve, you with us? All right, so much going on. I just want to comment because, this Republican uniparty, Trump-hating establishment are trying to make a deal with Biden on the border. This border compromise they're talking about. Okay, and Mike, can you? Yeah. This border compromise, President Trump says it'll make the Republicans look bad. There's no compromise on the border, and I keep hearing, that one of the talking points that drives, it's like nails on a chalkboard when I hear this on any of these talking heads or radio people, that we've got to fix our broken border system or fix our broken immigration system. The system's not broke. I mean, like I got my car out in the parking lot, right? My car works, I'm going to take it home. But if I don't use my car, is the car broken, or am I just not using my car? Right? You understand what I mean? The system's not broken. They've just destroyed, they're not using the system that they already have in place.
First of all, you got to remember, they're Democrats talking to Democrats.
Well, they're Republicans too, though, Steve. Some of them are Republicans.
They're Democrats and stupid people.
Yeah.
Party, because all you have to do is listen to the proposition, and you understand that they're full of crap. Because all they're trying to do, they want to set a minimum. This is the Democrats. They want to set a minimum of 5,000 or 5,000 a week, or what is?
There should be minimum should be 0 illegals a week, right? 0 illegals a week.
Talking about sending them back.
Exactly.
About bringing them in.
And look at how they're talking. Listen, these illegals are slaves, labor. They just busted here in Palm Beach County. I was reading the news this morning, a big human trafficking ring. It's labor right here in Palm. Those are illegals. This is a slave trade. So what Biden is doing. This is like the Democrats during the antebellum era, before the Civil War. If you don't know what antebellum era is, look it up, okay? But Joe Biden, he's like Jefferson Davis, Steve. He's negotiating how many slaves they can bring in across the border. Well, 5,000 a week, 4,000 a week slaves. I mean, it's true. It's true. And another thing I hear Biden do is he's pushing this thing with this there's no deal, okay? There's no deal. That they got these machines that can detect fentanyl. I'd like to know how much each one of those machines are and how many that Biden's trying to buy from some donor. Like MRI machines. Are they like $1 million a machine and he wants to buy 100 of them or something? I don't know. But there's some racket with some fentanyl detector. This is what you ever see the drug dogs at the airport? Sometimes they're schnauzers, okay? There's no better drug detector than a drug dog, okay? I've seen poodles used as these things sometimes at customs. You know, so this idea that they need these machines and we're going to let 4,000 in or 5,000 illegals in, give me a break.
5,000 for 5,000 a month?
Well, if there's more...
I think it was 5,000 a month.
Yeah. And
it's legal.
And if there's more than that a month, then Biden has the ability to do something, which will be nothing.
What we'd be talking about is if it reaches 5,000, they should be sending them
back. Yeah, it should be negative 5,000 a day. Negative 5,000 a day. Yes, that's the deal.
Turning this place into
Guatemala. That's what they're doing. They're bringing in a peasant class that is dependent upon them for all of their... Yeah. Well, yeah.
If Donald does...
Yeah, and I think Steve, I stand to be corrected on this. Okay, I'm not, because when I hear this broken immigration system talk, I just tune out and because it ticks me off. But I think it's 4,000 or 5,000 a day, not a month, that Biden's saying. Oh, just 4,000 or 5,000 a day. Come on. But you got to understand, Steve. Biden's kids have expensive habits. You know how much those Ukrainian hookers and all those drugs cost? Come on.
I'm sure he's got plenty of connections.
Oh, no, he's got a,
Think with that. When are they going to ship this guy to...
Hunter Biden?
Yeah.
Please.
No.
Please. No.
This is going to end in another frustration.
Yeah. I mean, why has Biden not been impeached 6 times by now for all these things that he's been doing? And I'll tell you something, I really do hope these Republicans make a deal in the Senate, and I'll tell you why. There's enough Senate seats in play for us to retake the Senate this time. Last time there wasn't. And if these fake Republican uniparty rhino snakes make a deal in the Senate, it's going to help us get more good MAGA Republicans elected to the Senate, like Carrie Lake in Arizona, who does not take bribes. I mean, my goodness, go back to that. The guy was shocked. He thought she was negotiating. Okay, name your number. How much do you want? All right, listen, we're out of time for today. We will be back tomorrow. I want to thank radio station senior management for bringing me new clothes to get over the dust mites in my sweater. Just had a hard time breathing in the first couple hours, but that's okay. The show must go on, whether or not I can breathe or not. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. And I didn't even get to 1/4 of my show prep today. Not even 1/4 of it, less than a quarter. Well, there'll be more news by then. And this will be old news by then. But we'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. live here. Thanks, everyone. Some great calls today, I must tell you. Some not so great, but some very good calls today. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless Donald Trump.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar. WIRK 103.1
All right, guys.
HD3.
Thanks so much. Make sure you subscribe and like the video before you go. All right. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.